Team USA starts the Four Nations face-off in style, beating Finland 6-1. Join us for the CHGO Blackhawks Four Nations face-off postgame show, starting next. Welcome into the CHGO Blackhawks Four Nations Face-Off Team USA postgame show. I'm Jay Zawoski with Greg Boyson and Mario Tirabassi. We are back at full strength for the Four Nations Face-Off tournament. We're going to be here after every Team USA game and the championship / another Team USA game. That was fun, fellas.
Could be.
Like it. Yeah,
could be. They're leading the tournament after one game.
That's right,
as we all predicted.
After one game, take that, Canada.
I love a tournament where they're already talking about if they win in regulation in game 2, they're already in the championship game.
They can seal their fate with another win.
That's what happens with these short tournaments.
Yes,
every game matters. Every shift, you got to win the shift for the name on the front of the jersey, not on the back, right?
Sure, that's what Michael Ruzioni has been saying for the last 50
I thought it was
years.
Danny DeVito with it.
No, it was
It sounded like Danny DeVito.
Well, it kind of looks like
that was
DeVito
that was the Jersey Mike's commercial. That was the next one.
I get it mixed up. They both inspire me deeply. Yeah. The Jersey Mike's commercial and the Team USA game. No, that was fun. You know, I think when we did our preview show, what was that, yesterday? Felt like a lifetime ago.
Yesterday.
Kind of wondering how the intensity would be, how the feelings would be, and through 2 games, good hockey.
Oh yeah. I mean, the Canada-Sweden game last night set the table, and right off the bat, Canada, a minute into the game, you see their ridiculous video game power play score a ridiculous video game goal, and you're like, all right, this is exactly what you wanted to see. And then Sweden comes back, you have an awesome game, and then today, a pretty good back and forth with Finland, USA. Like, neither team really was ahead of the other too far throughout the first 2 periods, and then Team USA just turns it out in the third. Yeah. And I mean, the competitiveness, the chippiness, it was what you want to see. Like, I'm stoked for Saturday. It's gonna be awesome.
Yeah. So again, 6-1 final. Team USA scores 3 goals in the first 3 minutes of the third, and then Matthew Tkachuk scores a second of the game, 11-13 into the third on a power play. And that was the final nail in the coffin for Finland, who was playing incredibly shorthanded defensively. They lost a lot of big-name players, but it's not taking anything away from Team USA. Who was the second intermission guest? And Emily Kaplan said, have you guys found your identity yet? I forget.
Was she talking with Brady Tkachuk?
I don't remember who it was.
I think it was Charlie McAvoy.
No, McAvoy.
Yeah, it was McAvoy. That's right. And he said, like, oh, not really. It's been 40 minutes.
Well, yeah.
But you saw them in the third, and I really like the fact that Mike Sullivan put Eichel and the Tkachuks together. That just makes all the sense in the world, that trio.
Yeah.
Those are the kind of adjustments you want out of future Blackhawks head coach Mike Sullivan.
I love it.
That he knows that, like, hey, this might be better. I don't know why that wasn't a line to begin with, but I think that is going to be a line for the rest of the tournament, obviously. I mean, those 3 together are good luck trying to defend those 3 big, highly skilled guys. A lot of fun there. And that line is going to be amped up for the Canada game because they're going to be the villains. Team USA is the villain of the tournament.
Yeah.
For a
multitude of
lot of reasons.
Yeah.
And I kind of like that.
Did I miss something?
They were playing in Canada. So, yeah, Canada, USA in Canada, that atmosphere is going to be intense. Should be fun.
But, I mean, this is a U.S. group that I think is going to play into that role for sure.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you saw it early in this game, like just kind of like finishing checks, playing aggressive, getting in their face. There were a number of times where in the middle of everything, the Tkachuk brothers were just kind of roughing up, you know, a couple of the Finnish defensemen around the net, front of the benches, like not backing down. And I think that's going to be like in this short, fast tournament, like you have to put your foot on the gas right away. And it was nice to see Team USA came out in the third period especially and got that done.
Yeah.
The Tkachuk brothers are villains every night they step on the ice.
Yeah. Right.
I mean, like whenever they're on the road, everybody in the opposing arena is booing them, and just because of the way they play, and they not that they're bad guys, but just they embrace that. They're so to have those guys in Montreal with Brad Marchand, now all of a sudden the hero in Montreal, it should be a lot of fun.
Yeah, and I like you said, I think this team does have the personality to embrace that villain role. I mean, for the first period, every time the puck touched Austin Matthews' stick, he was getting booed heartily by the Canadian fans. They booed the U.S. national anthem. And I think with guys like the Tkachuks, and there's other guys on a team that with a similar mindset of like, good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It feeds them. That sort of thing feeds them, and that pressure and that that feeling of it's us against the world. This is the kind of roster that I think that they'll rally behind that for sure.
It's them against three nations.
That's right. Well, yeah, exactly.
In a confrontation.
Yeah, confrontations day, four nations. Yeah, and I think too, like, not only that, like this is across the board. This is a tournament that it's not perfect, but it is hitting the best on best in the men's world that we haven't seen in almost 10 years since the World Cup of Hockey in 2016. Like, so these guys are ramped up for this opportunity. This is the first opportunity that guys that most of them have been able to play in a tournament where you're getting the most talent out of it. Like World Championships is one thing, but it's not the same because half of the guys that would play in that tournament are in the Stanley Cup playoffs at that time.
Right.
So, now this is an opportunity for guys like the Tkachuks and Eichel and Austin Matthews and these guys to be able to play at that level, play with that elite level of guys across the board for Team USA, something they haven't done since like playing for the World Juniors. Like it's the intensity and the gravity of the moment. Like I feel like all four of the nations are, trying to step up to that moment.
Yeah. Hey, thanks everybody for being here. By the way, we weren't sure what to expect in terms of people watching. A lot of people watching. Make sure you hit that like button for us. Make sure you are subscribed to our YouTube page. And guess what? Like if you got hockey fans that are not from Chicago, let them know. We're talking about the Four Nations face-off. This is not just Blackhawks night by any means. So start spreading the word around to your hockey friends that they've got a post-game show to watch after every USA game. And again, hit that like button for us. We do have a poll going.
This might be the only game a Blackhawk plays in that we talk about in this tournament.
Yeah, I don't think Finland's going to make the championship game.
It doesn't look
not
like
over, but
I mean, they
not looking good.
Could, but it's going to take a Herculean effort.
Yeah. Get your votes in on our poll. The poll is 2 games into the Four Nations face-off. What's your level of excitement? A, this is awesome. B, pretty cool. C, meh. D, that was tonight. Go ahead and hammer your vote in there. We'll reveal the winner at the end of the show. I was just, like we said, not really sure what to expect, but I love the fact, and when we talked about on our preview show, it's going to be up to the players to make this work and to make this exciting, and they've done it. And I think when you've got your stars invested, like the Tkachuks, like Crosby, like Matthews, that's what this needed. And you could tell all these guys are really excited to be part of this. Even the Finns, like, they're playing hard too, finishing checks, and they're just outmatched.
Yeah, I mean, it's you get these top tier guys. Everyone, like all of these guys, are coming from being the best on their individual NHL teams, and now you're coming together, with your countrymen, and guys are playing in different roles, and some of them are gonna have to play a far lesser role than they're used to. Like Dylan Larkin tonight was barely on the ice for Team USA, but as long as you have that collective buy-in from the group, like you're going to have, a good effort out there. And the intensity, the speed, the pace, the competitiveness, like it's all ramped up to where you hoped it would be. Because if you went out there and you had like a half speed shinny tournament with this, like it'd be a complete failure. And so far, like that, it's been the opposite of that.
Yeah, I would guess the league kind of, not that these guys need motivation, but they probably kind of told them like, hey, we've been pumping the tires of this thing for months. Don't make us look stupid.
Yeah.
But when you're playing for your country, that's a different thing, especially for the Canadian teams and the 2 European teams. I mean, that's what they strive to do. A lot of these guys, it's not winning a Stanley Cup, it's playing on your national team and winning international tournaments. Don't write off that Finland-Sweden game on Saturday either. I mean, that's the same type of rivalry U.S. and Canada has. Those two countries have too, so that should be a really good game too.
Well, and that's going to be a game where those two teams are fighting just to stay alive in this tournament.
I mean, winner go home essentially. For a while there, Finland was hanging. They scored the first goal.
Yeah.
Team USA didn't take the lead till late second period. It looked like it was going to be another one of those. Here we go, underestimating the Finns, and they may not have the best team on paper, but they seem to always at these international games. Finland probably takes the most pride in how they finish. No pun intended, in international tournaments over any other country. And whether it's World Juniors, World Championships, Olympics, they always seem to be like people kind of overlook them, but there they are in the championship game, in the medal round, because they always play a well-structured game, defense first, and it's always 18 guys pulling in the same direction, regardless of the level. It's amazing how the Finnish players play on the international stage. And for a little while there, for 2 periods, you were like, oh, here's Finland doing what Finland does. Not the most talented team on the ice, but somehow they make you work for it. And then Team USA came out for the third period. They found that 2013 Blackhawks light switch that the Hawks used to turn the switch in that season, and just went
find that again.
And just went, oh, that's right. That's UC Saros. We should probably shoot on him. They'll probably go in, and they did.
Well, I mean, it does suck for Finland because you have to if Heiskanen plays, if Ristolainen plays, even if Jani Hakanpää plays, 3 of their players that were on the roster that aren't available. It's such a different team. Even if it's just Miro Heiskanen,
that's a lot different.
There's such a different team with him back there.
That gets you through the neutral zone a lot better than that's where they were having problems when, especially in that third period. Team USA took away the neutral zone and they were done.
Yeah.
That helps a lot with those guys, and their goaltending for this is probably the worst Finnish goaltending they've had in an international tournament in quite some time.
Yeah.
I mean, you had Pekka Rinne and Tuukka Rask for a long time.
Mika Kiprusoff before that.
Right? Yeah, I mean, they've had some great goaltending. Great goaltenders. Kevin Lankinen should have played tonight.
We talked about that yesterday, and it's a guy who has had a great year.
Might play Saturday.
UC Saros is the name that everybody knows, but he kind of sucks this year.
He looks broken.
He's an all-or-nothing guy because you look at his numbers, and you're like, his save percentage is below 900. His goals against average is well over 3, but he's got like 4 shutouts on the season too. So he's an all-or-nothing guy, and one of those guys that Barry Trotz signed a big deal and then traded Askarov out of town. Whoops. Probably shouldn't have done that. But
I mean, at the time, Saros had been playing really well and looked like a done deal, a very safe bet. But
but you spent a first-round pick on a goalie and then
trade
him away.
Two different general managers. The world's greatest general manager ever that never won anything, and Barry Trotz.
He did create a banner for when they eventually win, though. That was on his watch.
Cool.
The eventual Stanley Cup champion Nashville Predators banner.
Yes, I look forward to that finally going up in the rafters in the year 2107.
In the year 2000. All right, we got to hit the first break zone. We'll be back with a whole lot more on the CHGO Team USA Four Nations Face-Off post-game show.
Sounds right.
You hit them all.
I think so.
And if you're in the market for a new vehicle, check out our friends at Ray Chrysler Dodge Jeep and Ram during the President's Day sales event going on right now at their location in Fox Lake. You can shop federally approved savings on brand new vehicles. Head to Ray Chrysler Dodge Jeep and Ram on Route 12 today and choose from their huge inventory of new Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram vehicles. And right now, take 18% off of MSRP with a dealer discount on all new 2024 gas-powered Jeep Wrangler models. Or shop over 125 vehicles priced under $20,000. With a friendly team of brand experts, the team at Ray Chrysler Dodge Jeep and Ram is here to help you during each step of your car shopping journey. Plus, since they prioritize affordability, you know you won't overpay for the vehicle that you need. And with Ray's Price Promise, you can shop confidently with no add-ons or hidden fees ever. The price you see is the price you pay. It's that simple. So check out our partner today to shop one of the Chicago area's largest inventories. Find the right new vehicle for you, and then drive home happy. You don't want to drive home sad.
No.
The team at Ray Chrysler Dodge Jeep and Ram is the only one we recommend. Don't miss out on their President's Day sales event going on all month long for 18% off of MSRP if you didn't hear me the first time on all 2024 gas-powered Jeep Wrangler models. For more information, visit Ray CDJR today on Route 12 in Fox Lake or online at raycdjr.com. They've been serving the community since 1963.
Yes.
The end.
And whether it's pro or college, the app to bet basketball is Circus Sports Illinois. Circus Sports, it's sports betting the way it should be. Circus Sports Illinois has high betting limits, low holds, and exceptional customer service. Bet on all your favorite teams in every game this season. Spreads, props, futures, or in-game, Circus Sports has it. Fund and bet like a pro anywhere, anytime in Illinois. Download your new bookie today at circusports.com. Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. You know who was non-factor in this game? Teuvo Teräväinen.
Yeah. He is currently voting. Was that tonight in our poll?
Yeah.
I mean,
rough for him.
You know what? You lose 6-1. Things are not going to look good, but -1, 10:34 of ice time. Had 3 shot attempts, that's got to be close to a season high. A hit and a giveaway. He's on the bottom 6. I feel, you mentioned it, Greg, like how these guys are used to playing together and they've all had a lot of international history together. You had Sebastian Aho and Teuvo Teräväinen playing on the same team for the last 5, 6, 7 years.
Yeah. Why
not put guys together with some familiarity?
Yeah,
that seemed like a bit of a miss, and I'm sure assistant coach Tuomo Ruutu was voted. If he was the head coach, Lions would have been correct. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, sure. Let's go with that.
Yeah, Teuvo would have been better.
I think you're just kind of with Teräväinen, like the top 6 for Finland, I think is more talented than what he brings to the table, but you'd think that he'd be able to have a little bit more of an impact in this game. Maybe playing with a more highly skilled team can bring out a little bit more out of him than we've seen with the Blackhawks this year. But again, like when you're playing against a team like Team USA, where they have the relentlessness, the physicality, like those are things that can take some of the best players out of their game. And at one point tonight, I saw on the broadcast, it was Barkov, Rantanen, Aho had combined, and there was at some point in the third period, might have been like midway through the third period, those 3 had 0 shots on goal combined. And when you have Team USA playing the way that they were both at both ends of the ice and shutting down those top players, like you're going to have a rough night no matter who you are. So I wanted to see Teuvo have a good tournament, have a good game to start out because of the way his season has gone this year. It's been streaky at times, and he's talked about how like his confidence has been shot at points this year.
Yeah.
Playing in Chicago, but like this was definitely an uphill battle for him to kind of have that kind of performance in a game like this.
There's a comment in the chat from Steven who says, "Hi, I'll double check my math. If Sweden beats Finland in regulation, that would be 4 points for Sweden.
Mm-hmm.
And USA loses in overtime, that would be 4 points for USA. There'd be a 3-way tie. So we actually do know.
No, because then Canada would have 5 points.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Because they have, they'd have 4 points.
No,
You're
they'd
right.
have 4 too. Yeah.
4 and 4.
But they'd have 2 wins to Team USA.
And you still have
loss.
Finland could play spoiler against Canada because you still have those.
Right.
There's still another game after that too. So yeah.
Well, just so you know, the tie breaking process, if there's a 3-way tie to break, first of all, if it's a 2-way tie, it's the head-to-head result between the two teams, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
If there's a 3-way tie, here's the procedure. Step 1 is total points, so standings points. Step 2 is regulation wins. Step 3 is total of regulation and overtime wins, excluding shootout wins. Step 4 is goal differential, which is a 6-1 win, is handy in a tournament like this.
It is.
And total goals scored is the final tiebreaker. So, again, 6 goals is that's why you can't really relent.
No.
In this short series, like, you can't take your foot off the gas. Keep scoring.
Yeah.
Keep scoring. There's no reason to stop.
But just getting back to Teuvo for a second. I mean, he's on their 4th line essentially tonight. You talk about, what would he look like on a more talented team? I mean, yes, the team is more talented, but Eric Haula and Joel Armia, what's he gonna do?
Yeah,
I mean, those guys are fine players.
These guys sound like Blackhawks.
But yeah, it's like, so Arturi Lehkonen, is he really a top line winger? I don't know.
He's top 6 for Colorado.
Yeah, but I don't know. It seems that Finland might be in some due for some mix up in their lines with that. Maybe with Teuvo, with Mikael Granlund,
maybe
get a little more offense out of that. But that's Finland's problem, not ours.
Should put Teuvo with Rantanen to see how it looks for next year.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah,
sure.
Get used to that.
Yeah. Right away, Rantanen has not been outstanding since that trade. Has been struggling to find his way with Carolina, and in this game, -1, 19-21 of ice time. He had 1 shot attempt and 1 hit. So, look, again, this is a pretty big mismatch.
Fine. Keep driving that.
Drive the value down.
Drive the value.
Yeah. He sucks. We got to do the Greg Braggs.
Get people out of the Mikko Rantanen bidding war. That's fine. Keep sucking, Mikko. I'll still take you next year.
I mean, the fact that there is talk being entertained that Carolina might trade him again if they don't feel like they can sign him.
That's some crazy stuff.
But
that's something that a guy like Eric Tolskay could totally see doing.
Yeah.
To give up what you did just to get him for a month.
I mean,
especially how Natchez has been playing in Colorado too.
But hey, maybe it's more the system than the player.
Sure.
But
I have not lost 1% of interest in Mikko Rantanen. Based on what is it, 6 games with Carolina, 1 game against USA.
Let's see what he does in the playoffs before we write him off. But to even throw that out there that you might consider trading him.
I mean, it's coming from reasonable.
It came from
people.
Nick Kyprios was the first to say that, and he's not. He's
not Elliot Friedman.
No, but he's also not.
He's
not an anonymous engagement farmer on Twitter either.
Correct.
Like he's
not just saying things.
He's got
for
a reputation. Somebody told him that.
Yeah.
That would be strange to give up what you gave up to get him, and then trade him a month later.
Yeah, right.
Because you're not going to get what you got for him.
No,
absolutely not.
No team would do that.
No.
And
no, the Blackhawks shouldn't trade for him.
You trade if you knew there was a contract.
If there's an extension, then they can have whatever they want.
Would you trade their first round pick this year for him?
Yeah,
I would too.
If it was a sign and trade,
yeah. If there was an 8-year extension with it, yeah. Because Mikko Rantanen is better than any of those guys you're going to get at 2 or 3.
I tend to agree with that.
And will be.
Let's let it play out. I don't know. If it's number one,
I just don't know. Carolina, they have cup aspirations,
right?
So it's like
they want someone who's going to help them in place of Mikko Rantanen.
Right? They wouldn't take that
3-team deal. Let's go. Make it happen, Kyle from Chicago.
Get your own 3rd round pick back again.
Somebody asked me on social media about if he's available, should the Hawks give up whatever to get him? And I was like, no, wait till the summer when all it costs you is money.
Right.
Yeah.
Because if he's not signing a contract extension with Carolina, he's sure as hell not signing one here. He wants to hit the open market if he doesn't sign it there.
Yes.
So let him hit the open market and then get him when it only costs money.
And you've got more money than anybody.
And if it's not him, then go after Mitch Marner.
Or how about both?
I mean, I don't want to be greedy, but
could do both. You could try.
Could you imagine?
That'd be fun.
That would be fun. Good comment from Windy City Hockey that said basically Mikko Rantanen is too heartbroken from leaving Chicago when he was a Blackhawk for exactly 4 minutes.
Yeah.
As long as it takes for that information to be typed into a computer, that's how long he was a Blackhawk.
Best 53 seconds of his career.
You know what I liked about Tim and Mario, you and I talked about this too yesterday. Like we did see as the Canada game went on, we're going to get a little bit into Canada next segment. Started off, everyone just blitzing, shooting. And as the game went on, Canada kind of like laid off the gas a little bit and started deferring. Didn't see that at all from USA today.
No.
There was no deferring. Everyone was shooting. Everyone was contributing. If you look up and down the score sheet, everybody almost has shots on goal. JT Miller, Vincent Trocheck, Dylan Larkin, Slavin, and Kyle Connor are the guys without shots for USA. But 5-1-1, 2-1, 2-8, 1-1-1, 2-4-3. Those are the shots on goal
for
the other guys. 8 shots for Matthew Tkachuk.
13 shots between the Tkachuk brothers.
But that didn't really start until midway through the second period, though. They were
it opened up.
It's gonna take it takes time to figure out who's this dude I'm playing with. But you met halfway through the second. That's about exactly when Eichel and the Tkachuks were united.
Yeah, it was in the second period.
2 guys who are brothers together.
Do you think they have like a special language?
Monosyllabic grunts.
Hey, you know what? It's working for them.
Sure.
And I would give anything to have either Tkachuk on the Blackhawks.
Well, when you talk about it for like, oh, they don't know who these guys are. I don't think that's as big a thing as it is anymore, especially for like the Team USA guys. They all played in camps together. Granted, it's been years, but they know exactly. They're NHL players. They play against each other, multiple times a year. They know what these guys do. They watch enough film on.
They
these
play
guys.
I'm sure they train off season together. Like
they go play in the beauty league.
They know who these guys are. But I think
it does take a little bit of time to get the timing
exactly,
and that. So
and not having like Olympics and
right.
A structured, international tournaments like these every few years. Like you don't have that opportunity to kind of have some of that carry over. So,
well, that won't be a thing anymore. Every other year now. Apparently.
Now you got this tournament now. You'll have Olympics next year, 2026. Then 2028 will be World Cup of Hockey coming back, and then 2030 Olympics again. Like I'm fine with every 2 years having something like this. Like it's awesome stuff.
But it's only this is the inaugural and final Four Nations face-off.
That's fine. I like the World Cup of Hockey better than Four Nations facing
You need
off.
more than 4 teams to make this a real thing.
Yeah,
it's part of my.
If they don't bother to name the trophy,
don't
just let it go.
Somebody in the comments said earlier, maybe it was Windy City Hockey said. If Team USA wins it, name the trophy the Gaudreau Cup. I'm fine with that.
Sure.
Yeah,
well, actually, coming up next, we'll show you how they are honoring Johnny Gaudreau during this short little tournament here.
Hopefully, they didn't spend a ton of money on that trophy since it's only going to be given out once.
I think it's like aluminum foil. All right, back with more on the CHGO Blackhawks Four Nations Face-Off Team USA postgame show. And perhaps you've got tickets to one of these Four Nations games coming up, whether it's in Boston or Montreal, and maybe you could only afford the nosebleeds. It's all right. Nothing wrong with that because you got right on binoculars. It is the perfect thing to make it as if you are on the ice with the players. That's how clear the vision on these right on binoculars are. If you're not going to a game, maybe you are a middle-aged man like me. and suddenly you've taken up birding in your late 40s. I have. Go look at the birds with your Right On binoculars. Right On Optics offers a full range of optics products so you can see clearly no matter what you're doing. Everyone can use a good pair of binoculars. These are the last pair you will ever own. They are super high quality. They've got a replacement guarantee I'm going to tell you about in a little bit. And I'm telling you, looking through these binoculars is like watching HD. It's unbelievable. I've never seen binoculars as clear as these Right-Ons in my life. Check out the full line of Right-On products today at rightonoptics.com/CHGO. The Right-On Promise Unlimited Lifetime Warranty not only covers defects, but also accidental damage from drops. So if you're up in a tree looking at birds, because that's all you would do, don't be creepy, and you drop your binoculars, Right-On is going to replace them for you. Again, rightonoptics.com/CHGO. That's RITON optics.com/CHGO.
Speaking of seeing things clearly, check out these Shady Rays I'm rocking right now. They're blue tinted for the USA, baby. Get ready for the season ahead with quality shades built to last. Our friends at Shady Rays have you covered with premium polarized shades that won't break the bank. Shady Rays is an independent sunglasses company offering a world-class product rated 5 stars by over 300,000 people. Their shades have durable frames and crystal clear optics, making them the perfect choice for all your outdoor adventures. So while you're out there with your Right-On binoculars and it's super sunny and you don't want to stare into the sun and burn your retinas, put on a pair of Shady Rays and then look through your Right-On binoculars. It's like you're looking at a 16K television with all this premium optical visionary improvements that you got on your eyes there. And with Shady Rays, they have hundreds of options to choose from with frames and colored lenses like these blue USA ones. So you're bound to find the perfect pair to match your style. Plus, if your Shady Rays ever go missing or take an unexpected hit, don't sweat it. They have the most insane protection plan in all of eyewear. Every pair is backed by their lost or broken replacements policy. So, exclusively for our listeners, Shady Rays is giving out their best deal of the season. Head to shadyrays.com. Use the code CHGO, and you're going to get 35% off of polarized sunglasses. So try for yourself. The shades rated 5 stars by over 300,000 people.
Here's a fun stat from Pierre LeBrun of the Athletic and TSN. With the win tonight, Team USA snaps a 5-game losing streak in best-on-best hockey. They went 0-3 at the 2016 World Cup, losing to the Czechs, Canada, and Team Europe.
That's right.
And lost the final 2
Head
games.
coached by John Tortorella.
And lost the final 2 games at the 2014 Sochi Olympics to Canada in the semis and Finland in the bronze medal game. So a new era of Team USA hockey has begun.
Well, and that was something that like I've kind of been thinking about as last night's game unfolded, going into today. You know, Canada and Team USA in this tournament are looked at as, I would say, almost unanimously, unless you're talking to a Swedish person or a Finnish person.
Sure.
Like almost unanimously, like 1 and 2 interchangeable as the favorites of this tournament. And Canada's coming in with a ridiculous winning streak. What is it? Is it like
now it is 17 in a row,
17 straight games in
best on best.
Yeah, that they've won. And Team USA in the last, as you just said, like the last 2 tournaments that have been in this style, like disappointing results, like a no-show at the World Cup of Hockey, and I'm wearing that jersey, fittingly enough. And then, you know, falling out at the 2014 Olympics, and you had the OT loss in the 2010 Olympics. Like, you know, for USA Hockey, all the success we've seen at the juniors level in the last few years, like we haven't had an opportunity to see those generations of players bring it to the, you know, the top tier level. And it made me think, like, which of those 2 nations, USA and Canada, has more pressure in this short tournament to, like, is it Canada keeping up their streak of like this best on best results, or is it Team USA trying to finally like actually plant a flag of like, yes, USA hockey's resurgence is actually happening and having success in this tournament?
I feel like anytime there is a best, or actually anytime there is a international hockey tournament,
All the
the
pressure's
pressure's
on Canada.
always on Canada.
Mhm.
Because anything less than a gold medal finish is failure for them. And I think too that if the USA doesn't win gold, I would call it a failure. But it's not as, I think losing in hockey impacts Canada in a way that we can't understand here.
Right. It's their sport, allegedly. Not anymore.
Used to
USA owns it. Yeah, it used to be their sport. They invented
We'll
it.
say that. Yeah, that's what I mean. Like,
They invented it. But it's their national sport. It's so much more popular up there. The pressure on the players.
yeah,
The pressure you're talking about, probably more like inside the room.
yeah,
Like who wants, but outside the room, like listen, if Canada would have blown that game to Sweden last night, everybody in Canada would have been mad. It would have been all on their talk shows, and the Ched would have been talking about it. And everybody would have wanted John Cooper fired from Tampa Bay because he lost for Canada.
fire him from Team Canada.
Now tonight, if it was the other way around and Finland beat U.S. 6-1, you wouldn't hear a peep about it anywhere in the United States.
No one even talk about it.
No,
There'd
No.
be no
Those-
sports radio show
No.
in the country that would talk about it for a second.
No.
So
It's-
definitely,
it's definitely a different culture of the sport.
yeah. So like, I would absolutely love for this particular United States team to end that Canadian winning streak. It would be
Yeah.
even better though if they do it in the championship game. Like say Canada beats US in overtime, and then they win, they beat Finland, and then they rematches in the championship game. That would be even better.
That'd be fun.
I just like to
Or just
kick
beat
their
them
ass
twice.
twice.
Yeah,
beat them twice would be
That's
nice. Yeah, because the 2010 Olympics they beat them in the group
Yeah.
play, but then they lose in the gold medal game, and no one cares about the group play win
I do.
because you lose in the championship.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and Jason's in the chat saying that USA has a lot to prove after the World Junior Championships. That's true. Like they do want to prove and they want to claim their place in the hockey world, but it's just not. It just doesn't matter enough in this. Again, like when we talk about Mitch Marner coming to the Blackhawks, right, and thinking that he might be happier here because the spotlight in Toronto was a lot for him. He can come here. Hawks fans will like him. He'll still have some anonymity. His every stride won't be broken down on every sportscast and newscast, right? Like it's just a different animal up there for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
And again, anything short of gold is failure. You're a loser. You're shunned. Like there's no pride in Canada winning a silver. There's just not. It's just not.
Right.
It's a failure. So it's like USA with basketball, right? USA goes to the Olympics for basketball. The expectation is if you don't win a gold, you're a bunch of losers and puds.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah, I think it's coming into this tournament. There's a lot on Canada's shoulders to keep it up, and there's a lot to prove for the U.S. hockey program, not just these individual guys, but the actual program itself to like actually prove that this growth is come to fruition now that you have the opportunity to have these kinds of tournaments.
well, here's Brady Tkachuk. This via Michael Russo on Blue Sky. Brady Tkachuk on Saturday night's game against Canada, quote, "It's going to be the biggest game I've ever played in my career."
That's
Wow.
cool.
When you play in Ottawa,
That's
yeah.
true. That's fair. That's fair.
Sure.
Yeah.
But
It's
yeah,
still like
that's the mindset you
Yeah.
want to have.
It has to be. Got a $5 super chat from
We'd like to
Michael.
remind you folks,
Thank
keep
you.
your questions within the boundaries of good taste.
No team North America and or team Europe kind of sucks though for the
World Cup of hockey.
World Cup of hockey.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
I love
Sure.
that Team North America. That was so
was
cool.
that was a lot of fun,
That
but
was
so good.
it just made it harder for me to invest in it.
Why?
I don't know. It just bring
I
back
wanted-
Russia, bring Czechia into it, Slovakia.
Well, you'll have to for
you know,
that.
Latvia. Like
They
bring them
even
all in.
they said that they'll.
It'll be
Bring in
yeah,
Atlanta,
There's
bring
no
in Dallas.
there's no way it won't be at least
Yeah.
Czechia involved in it.
Right. You have to do more than 4 teams, and
They had 6.
as I said earlier, geopolitics aside, you
Right.
can't have a best on the best world championship type tournament not have Russia involved, because that Russian team would be really effing good.
Yeah.
And would be tough to beat in this tournament if they were playing. So I'm, hopeful by the time the Olympics roll around next year that, they could be back in the play. I doubt it. Maybe by 2028 for the World Cup, but it'd be interesting to see what they do for the World Cup. You have to let Czechia in. Czechia has a ton of really good players.
Yeah.
Slovakia,
You'd have U.S., Canada, Sweden, Finland, Czechia, Slovakia. Let's say for argument's sake, Russia.
Latvia's come on.
that's seven.
Germany's been decent.
Germany,
internationally.
Switzerland.
I feel like, yeah, Germany or Switzerland.
Switzerland there's a lot of Swiss hockey players in the NHL.
Leon Draisaitl's German.
You can
Lucas
combine
Reichel.
them.
Lucas,
They can be,
after JJ Paterka.
yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's
Well, my thing is,
Team Europe.
I could see
There
if
you
they're
go.
if the Russia's banned with the IIHF,
Right.
I get that. But if this is an
This is
NHL,
an
run
NHL
tournament,
right? But then
why not
didn't-
allow the Russians in?
Then why didn't they put them in this
I
tournament?
don't know. Because it would be fine. I mean,
Because
could've put in
5
6.
nations facing off
I think
doesn't roll
I
off
think
the tongue.
part of it was they kind of. I don't want to say they threw it together quickly. That's unfair.
They kind of did.
But they kind of did.
They kinda-
And
it's not that unfair.
they knew that having the 4 premier nations would make it exciting quickly.
Yeah.
I think the World Cup historically has always been before the season.
Yes.
So if that's the plan again, I just think it's
No, I think it's going to be. I believe it's going to be in season.
mm,
I don't like the I don't like the in season pauses for the Olympics. I get it.
Yeah, you
every
can't-
4 years, it's more prestigious.
If it's like this, though, where World Cup of Hockey in season replaces NHL All-Star Weekend, I'm fine with it. This is a lot more fun.
But if
than
you
the
have-
All-Star
Yes,
Weekend.
but like I don't
6
know.
teams. It's
It just
got to be longer.
no. I will say the first
unless you do 2 groups.
through the first 2 games, the hockey has been better than it was in 2016.
Agree.
And I think some of that has to do with that it's February, not September.
Right.
These guys are in mid-season shape, all that stuff. But I still don't like pausing an entire season so 4 teams can play for something you made up 6 months ago.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan of that's why I've not been that excited for this tournament. World Cup maybe be a little different. But if you're the Vegas Golden Knights, you're not happy
Yeah.
right now.
I mean-
your best defenseman,
Week to week, Shea Theodore.
and that guy was having a career year. I mean, he's on my fantasy team, and I'm pissed.
Oh
I
my
can't
God.
imagine what the Golden Knights feel like right now.
You know who feels pretty good about themselves right now? Probably Alex Pietrangelo. Said, "See,
See,
Told you.
I told you.
You
That's
know,
why I'm
and
here."
Mark Stone's going to suffer a crippling back injury in the championship game against Team
Sure.
USA
Mm.
and won't be able to play again to the first round of the
Gee, I wonder
playoffs.
if Mikko Rantanen
Darn.
gets traded, where he'll get traded to now.
You know that's going to happen. There's
Of
no
course
way
it
Mark
is.
Stone's back can hold up this type of
No.
tournament.
No human can take that
Yes.
much punishment.
Yeah,
I know injuries can happen in preseason
Sure.
tournaments too.
at least you have some time. To
Right. It's not
regroup from
not
that.
2 months before the first round of the Stanley Cup playoffs start.
Right.
For a team like Vegas, who has been trending in the wrong direction the past couple of weeks, all of a sudden now they lose their best defenseman. And this tournament couldn't have come at a worse time for the Blackhawks. And I know the Blackhawks aren't going anywhere, but you could say they've been playing their best hockey of the season for the last 8
Sure.
to 10 games, minus a game or 2.
Yeah.
You've got these young kids on this team that are hitting their strides and turning a corner a little bit and starting to feel more confident being NHL players. And now they got to sit for 2 weeks. So Teuvo Teräväinen can play 6 minutes a night for Team Finland.
I know. It's
Yeah, but I
that's
think
the thing is-
I think for the Hawks though, like from their perspective at least, like this is probably, even if they have been playing relatively better last few games, it's probably a welcome break for some of these young guys. Like this is the most hockey they've played in a congruent season in their life. So maybe having a little bit of rest time, a little bit of break is good. And then some of these other guys, like it's good to kind of get outside of the game for a little bit, especially a team that's losing this much. You go hopefully somewhere warm and sunny for 4 or 5 days. spend some time with friends and family, and then you regroup and come back and finish out the season.
Feeling fresh. I just, I wonder how the Theodore injury is going to impact some teams' thoughts and the PA's thoughts on these sort of things going forward. I know it's one guy. It's not Austin Matthews.
Hopefully that's the only one.
Yeah.
Right.
But if teams see this and are like, oh, God.
Well, we saw Charlie McAvoy go collarbone first
bad.
into the goalpost.
Yeah.
On a crappy play by
luckily he's going to be okay.
I can't remember who it was that hit him. Was it Armia? Yeah. It was a Canadian. Yeah, because it was Canadians.
Because it was
Canadians
Montreal
versus
Canadiens.
Bruins. That was an unnecessary play. I think Mark McAvoy was all right, but that could have been a lot worse. And that's one of the top players for Boston who's fighting for their playoff lives. So, injuries can happen in a regular season game on February 13th, but you feel a little better about that if it happens in the second period, against the Edmonton Oilers for first place in the division than you do against Sweden, in a made up tournament.
There is no perfect time to play it.
No, I mean,
I still lean preseason.
I do too.
I know guys aren't as sharp, but I mean, look, in what is that, 4 years from now, World Cup?
Yeah,
3
years.
3 years.
2028.
You're probably gonna have at least
you'll have a couple
at
Hawks.
least 2 Hawks in it. Bedard will probably be in it. Vlasic might be in it
Yeah.
if he can somehow hurdle Noah Hannafin. There's
overrated.
spots to be taken on USA. Canada's tougher, but it's Connor Bedard, and if he pans out the way people
if Connor
think,
Bedard is the player he's supposed to be, he'll be on that team because Sidney Crosby might be retired by then.
He'd be 40 years
Mark
old.
Stones will definitely not have a back by then.
he'll just not be there.
So
He'll be like Krang.
yeah,
I would say that's what he'd be 22. Bedard.
Jesus.
I would think that would be a version of him that would be Team Canada worthy. But if he wasn't, Team North America could be right there.
Sure.
Yeah.
Can you imagine Team North America with
It's like an under. What was it? Under
23 and under.
23 and under?
You had
Seth Jones was on that team.
Yeah,
That was pretty
McDavid
awesome.
on that team.
That was fun. There's no doubt
McDavid
about
and
it.
Matthews played
Yeah.
The
together.
uniforms were sick too.
Yes.
McKinnon was on that team. Gaudreau was on that team.
Yes, that team almost
Like
Don't
made-
say
they
it.
were awesome.
that was the team. Ray Ferraro's not here. It's okay. That was the team I was rooting
It
for.
was so much fun.
I wasn't rooting for
Yeah.
Team USA. I wanted the kids.
Yeah.
Imagine
Yeah.
that team. If
Like,
you
you
put
could-
that team together now,
You'd have
they'd be
Bedard,
undefeated.
Celebrini, you'd have like Will Smith and Adam Fantilli playing together. Like it'd be a ton of fun. It'd be so much fun. I would love for that. You could still do that because all those guys will be 22, 21 years old, and if they don't make Team USA or Team Canada, there's that group for them.
It would be a fun way to reimagine the All-Star game. Could be like veterans versus under 23, or like 25 and
yeah.
under versus 25 and older.
I wish they would do like they used to. They'd go North America versus the world.
Yeah,
I think that'd be a lot of fun.
that was cool.
Here is the
Doing that.
roster for that Team North America, 23 and under team. Your goalies were John Gibson, Connor Hellebuck, and Matt Murray when he was still good.
Pretty good.
Your defensemen were Aaron Ekblad, Shane Gostisbehere, Seth Jones, Ryan Murray, Colton Parenko, Morgan Riley, Jacob Trouba. Your forwards were Sean Couturier, Jonathan Drouin, Jack Eichel, Johnny Gaudreau, Dylan Larkin, Nathan McKinnon, Austin Matthews, Connor McDavid, JT Miller, Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, Brendan Saad, Mark Shifley, and Vincent Trocheck. If that team
That's
now was
crazy.
in this
Oh.
tournament, it would be nobody would beat it.
They
That's
win every game
crazy.
10-0.
That's crazy.
Except Seth Jones would cost him 5 goals, of course.
Sure, of
As we
course,
know,
he'd
it's
be
his fault.
horrible. Yeah, I mean, and then that tournament Team Europe played in the final. So you even have a case to be made that like you could do that again and have the best of Switzerland and Germany and Czechia and Slovakia all play together, and it would be a
Team
ton of
Europe
fun.
was pretty darn good too. Thomas Greiss, Philip Grubauer, Yaroslav Halak was the goalies. Defense was Zdeno Chara,
Decent.
Blackhawks legend Christian Ehrhoff,
Sure.
Roman
Number
Josi,
14.
Yossi, pretty good.
Lucas Spiza,
Spiza,
Dennis Seidenberg,
German.
Andre Sekera,
Mm-hmm.
Mark Street. Then you had forwards Pierre-Edouard Bellemare,
French.
Michael Boddicker,
Mm-hmm.
Leon Draisaitl, perhaps you've heard of him,
Decent.
German.
Marian Gaborik,
Pretty good.
Yannick Hansen,
Sure.
Marian Hossa,
Decent. Friend of the program.
Anze Kopitar,
Pretty good.
Nino Niederreiter, Franz Nielsen, Tobias Ryder, our guy Thomas Tatar, Thomas Vanek, and Matt Zuccarello. That's a pretty good team.
That's decent.
Decent team. Fun team.
I'm down for that for an All-Star game.
Yeah,
See again. Two
I
shows
would.
in a row I gotta see.
Again, I would love for that fun to be like, because if you're having these types of tournaments, especially if it's in season, bless you,
Thank you. 2 in a row.
have some fun.
2 shows in a
Have
row.
some fun with it. You know,
Hockey's supposed to be fun.
yeah, exactly.
Yes.
It's fun, damn it.
Have some
Zero fun, sir.
Have some fun rules. You know, get creative with it. Have
Well,
a-
I do like, and a lot of people have been stumping for this standing system for years.
the 3-2-1.
The 3-2-1.
Oh, yeah.
Mhm.
I mean,
I'm in favor of it.
and I also like the 10-minute 5-on-5 versus a shootout.
Also in favor of that too.
Players they talked to
Or
last,
3-on-3, I mean,
the
sorry.
players they talked to were like, nope. After last night, they were
Really?
like, nope, don't want that. Not in the regular season. It's fine for something
Too
like
bad.
this, but
Work on your
How many of them
cardio.
are going to go 10 minutes?
Yeah, no. If last night's Canada Sweden overtime ended after 5 minutes, and you went to a shootout, people would be upset.
It's such a buzzkill.
People would be super upset.
I know
The
you
fact
got
that
to.
you went an extra 2 minutes.
right. But I
and
mean,
you got a winner.
do we need to see
worth it?
Nashville and Anaheim in January keep resetting the zone? Like
We'll
you
take
have to,
away that rule.
you play 10 minutes. You
get
play
like,
10 minutes
get
in
like
this
the half
because
court rule.
this win actually means something. But when
Half ice.
you've got this stuff, in January against two bad teams, nobody really cares. Yeah, they want to win the game, but it's not quite the same.
3-on-3 overtime, whether it's bad hockey teams or good hockey teams, is still
Oh,
exciting.
I love 3-on-3 overtime, but I just don't see.
They should make a whole league of 3-on-3.
They tried it; it failed miserably. I just don't think the overtime will go to 10 minutes in the regular season. I don't.
It should.
They actually asked that question to a lot of the guys that played last night, and most of them were like, "No, 5 is enough."
Yeah.
Boring.
Suck it up.
I'll
Salary-
take. I'll
salary
take the
cap's going
exchange
up.
for the 3-2-1 standing system.
Yes, or I like the 3-2-1 is great, or just get rid of the loser point altogether. Like, so what? If you lost in 63 minutes as opposed to 60, you still lost.
Yeah, and the thought with that was, guys, like teams being more willing to go for it in overtime. Doesn't seem like that's translated too much, because you still see teams kind of like,
Well, if you look at the standings, so many teams are still alive for the wild card, especially in the East, because of the loser
well, then
point.
that's probably why they want.
That's
it.
why they do it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they do it
To
because
keep people
Keep
competitive.
teams, keep teams.
to
at
keep
it.
bad
it makes it
teams
look
think
like
that they still have a
there's
chance. I mean,
parity. Yeah.
if it wasn't for the loser point, the Washington Capitals would have never made the playoffs last year.
Yeah.
And now here they are, the best team in the league. So maybe there is something to it.
That's wild. That's wild. All right, we got a few minutes left. We should talk a little bit about Canada before Saturday's game. We will be on after that, of course, by the way, probably about the same time as this one, barring infinite overtime.
Only 10 minutes.
There's no mistaking how loaded that team is. Like, to see that power play unit, they scored so quickly. It was just not even a challenge. Crosby, McKinnon, Reinhart, McDavid, McCarr. Crosby with that behind the back, through the legs of the defender, right on the tape to McKinnon, who had time to dust it off and shoot it. It was a thing of beauty to watch. And like, just to see McDavid crank it up and McKinnon with the ability to just like take it from behind the net and just go the entire length of the ice. And that's against the Swedes. Big, physical defensemen, forwards that play, a 200-foot game, and those guys are just toying with them the entire game. I think USA is the better and deeper team, but you can't ignore that power at the top that Canada's got, and you got to stay out of the freaking box.
You do. But we're going to see Canada's glaring weakness that everybody said from day one, goaltending.
Yeah.
And yeah, Binnington made some nice saves, but he also,
There were a few close ones.
Yeah. Now,
A few he'd want back.
now what do you do? Like, now you're facing Team USA. A little bit of an upgrade from Sweden. No offense to the Swedes, good team, but there's not a weak link, and they're gonna just keep coming at you. So we'll see if that goaltending. You got Connor Hellebuck on one side and Jordan Binnington on the other, or Eden
It's a
Hill,
distinct
or
advantage.
Sam Montembeault. Like,
Yeah, there's each goaltender for the U.S. is better than each for Canada.
yeah,
So that's a big difference maker.
yeah, and so there's your equalizer. Yes, stay out of the box, but if you get into penalty trouble, you have Connor Hellebuck back there, not Jordan Binnington against the USA power play.
Yeah,
I have a little more confidence there. So we'll see. That's gonna be fun though. I hope, like, this tournament's been a whole lot of meh for me. I didn't really get to see much of the game last night. I saw the highlights. I had it on, but wasn't able to really fully focus on it. So I thought, maybe tonight's game will really get me into it. But then you get a 6-1 blowout. And you're kind of like, okay.
Right. Well, if this one doesn't do it, nothing's going to.
Canada, USA doesn't get me excited. I'm hoping Sweden, Finland does, gets the.
Well, that's going to be a hell of a game.
I feel like that's going to be, that'll be in.
Everybody's excited for Canada, USA, but don't write off that Swedish game.
Yeah.
That's going to be a good
That's
one.
a big
I'm
rivalry,
watching that
and
one.
those guys are fighting to try and stay alive in this tournament.
Yes, but
It's gonna
I'm
be
hoping
big.
that Canada game gives you everything you're hoping. The rivalry, the emotion, some drama would be nice because there was no drama tonight.
Yeah. I think you'll get it. I think the way that these guys are talking about, talking tonight after the game, the way that they're talking about how they felt in this game against Finland, leading into the Canada game, I think you're gonna get some emotion. You're gonna get some face washes and pushing and shoving it early in that game. I think it's gonna get ramped up. It's gonna be. I'm super excited for it. It's the first time that we've seen on the men's side of things, Canada, the best of Canada against the best of USA. Like, even if this is hopefully the first of two matchups in this tournament, like, I think it's going to be ramped up. It's going to be awesome. The atmosphere is going to be very pro Canada, of course, being in Montreal. And I think this Team USA team is going to play into that and try and feed off of that, play the villain role, and get under the skin of Canada. It's going to be awesome.
Makes me wonder.
The Tkachuks and Brad Marchand, like, on the ice together. Like, I'm so excited.
USA plays Canada in Montreal in the round robin round. They get to feed off all that. We're the villain. They get to play that role. If they meet again in the championship, this in Boston, where all of a sudden they're the heroes, and Canada gets to be the villain. Could be a lot of fun. Could be a fun dynamic.
I hope that's what happens. All right, we ran a poll during the show. 2 games into the Four Nations face-off. What's your level of excitement? This is awesome, pretty cool, Matt. Or that was tonight. 52% saying this was awesome.
Nice.
34% say pretty cool. 6% say meh. 6% say that was tonight. So the overwhelming majority are on board with what's going on here, and I think it's only going to get better. Again, don't sleep on Finland, Sweden. No, that is going to be a great game.
It's also like a noon start, so it's perfect. Saturday afternoon, have a great game, and then you rest up, get yourself ready for USA Canada at night.
I want to share before we go, as the Blackhawks have the tool belt for the player of the game. A lot of teams have something. Tonight, Team USA put Johnny Gaudreau's sweater in Matthew Tkachuk's locker. That was that's kind of the symbolism for the player of the game. Do we have that tweet, Sarah? Can we throw that up there? I saw Pierre LeBrun put it out there. There you go. Johnny Gaudreau's number 13 sweater in Matthew Tkachuk's locker. He was the player of the game, so he gets to have that in his locker for a night.
Brady Tkachuk's locker.
Cool. Is it Brady's?
Yeah, it's number 7.
Oh, yeah, you're right. So the players choose that.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, because Matthew was number 1 star.
Right.
Brady didn't get anything. So he
got a jersey.
He got
the 3 stars were Werenski, Tkachuk, and Tkachuk.
Yeah.
Okay. Brady had 2 goals, 5 shots, 8 hits.
Well, I'm stupid.
because he's a video game character.
Well, like I said, like Canada, second place doesn't matter.
Brzezinski, Tkachuk, and Tkachuk is also my favorite law firm.
That's really good. Well, we should get into some Zach Werenski talk on Saturday's show, too.
Absolutely. He's awesome.
He's been really, really good. Okay, we're going to wrap things up. Thanks for being with us. Awesome first show. Saturday is going to be, as the kids say, lit off the hook. Sarah, any other cool things I can say?
No.
Sarah just threw up in her mouth when I did that. I'm sorry.
Are they going to be yeeting?
We're going to yeet the show. It's going to be fun. About the same time, what were we on? About 10:05 today was our start time. So about the same time on Saturday. Expect us there, 7 o'clock, USA, Canada. But strap in for that Sweden-Finland game in the afternoon. It's going to be fun. Thanks for being here. If you haven't hit the like button, do it on your way out. We'll talk to you Saturday night on the CHGO Blackhawks Four Nations Face-Off postgame show.
We all silly like the mayor.